Welcome back to At Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac from Roby Electric and W.H. Hobbs Plumbing, along with Trent Haston from the Roby family of companies. Trent, talking about cornhole tournament. This is the first show we've had since the cornhole tournament actually occurred. Of course, last week we recorded the show before the cornhole tournament.
I think we said on that show last week that we were going to have a great tournament.
That's right.
And I think we were right.
We finally got something right, didn't we?
Got something right.
Usually when we predict any kind of score, if you're a handicapper, don't take our bets because usually we're wrong. We try to predict some sports scores. But this is a good prediction, Trent. We had a really good turnout. The weather couldn't have been better. I'm still suffering from a little bit of sunburn because it got a little warm out there on Saturday at Freedom Park this past Saturday, or 2 Saturdays ago. I apologize. And we're getting a chance to recap it with Chris Weber from Make-A-Wish.
Timeout.
Oh, man, as a Carolina guy.
Take you back to 1993.
You're going to give him a hug?
That's one of those places I remember where I was when I was playing basketball at my church with my buddies, and we kept running in the room with the TV, checking that score.
I remember where I was, too, Trent. I grew up a big, big North Carolina fan. Of course, my father went to North Carolina, and my mom went to UNCG. So we grew up Tar Heels, and I think we had replica North Carolina football uniforms, and I think I was wearing that. I was a little bit younger than you. In the basement of our house, watching it with my brother.
Wearing football uniforms during a basketball game.
It was the best North Carolina decked-out situation I could do, and that prefaced my love for football as I got older and to this day, because now I'm obviously a Clemson Tiger. Oh. You see how I worked that in? Oh. And we are 2-0 as of the recording of this show. Maybe hopefully we're 3-0 when people are actually listening. If not, then I'm going to catch all kinds
as
of
As of the recording of this show, the Panthers are 2-0
There we go.
As well.
There we go. There we go.
What do you think, Chris?
That was I like the Panther growl there. That was good.
He's got that down pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
What do you think?
What do you think about the cornhole tournament? 10th anniversary, pitching for wishes.
Oh, it was great. It was great. It was big this year. It was awesome. Felt like there were more people there for sure.
So going into this show, which is on Tuesday the 19th, right?
Correct.
We're on Tuesday the 19th. We're right under $225,000 raised. I think we're a little over $223,000 raised. So if you're listening to the show, you can still go pitching for wishes, PITCHIN for wishes.com. Every time I say that, I point at Travis Thomas in the back, and he's so smooth. But no, please help us get over 225 raised, but it's definitely our biggest year.
Yeah, it was huge. I think we did 6,300 the day of, which is more than we've done in the last 5 years, I think.
People on the day of the event. They were enjoying themselves.
Yeah, they were enjoying themselves. Yeah, there was
right.
There was a lot of stuff flowing. It was good.
Well, we really had the best. It wasn't silent auction; it was a raffle.
Yeah,
and I don't think I won any. Nobody's called me and told me to come pick up my granite.
I think your brother won a couple things, but
my brother did. That's some confusion. Yeah. I don't even think he gave any money.
Yeah, he wins a lot of stuff. He's got the lucky hand, doesn't he?
He's like, I'm Travis Haston. He's got a big, heavy hand, is what he's got. Congratulations, Travis. I did not realize you won stuff.
Well, let's reflect on that a second. I mean, $225,000. I mean, if you're listening, really think about that. I mean, what does that do, Chris? We talked about that before on the show, but I think it's cool to hear it from you. You are Make-A-Wish's representative here on the show. You're not Trent and Patrick. What is $225,000? Tell us exactly what that does.
Well, on average for us, a wish is about $6,000. So $225,000 allows us to grant about 38 of those throughout the year.
I was telling Trent and I were talking about this at some point. It's hard to believe there's 38 kids that are even going through this in our area. They're going through a life-threatening illness, which Make-A-Wish supports. And I thought, in my opinion, and I know everybody had their favorite part of the cornhole tournament, was when we actually granted a wish.
Which was the first time we've ever done that at the tournament. So we'll let Chris walk us through it. But for the 10th, and it was a surprise to me, actually.
I thought you knew.
Day of, I did not know about it. So tell us about the wish we were able to grant, because leading up to this to the tournament, for the 10 weeks leading up, our last segment, we talked about a different wish every week.
Yeah, different wish kids leading up, yeah. And a lot of those wish kids that we gave you guys stories for were kids that have come to the cornhole tournament in the past.
Okay.
So we were trying to bring it full circle, and actually, for the 10th anniversary, for everything that Roby has done for Make-A-Wish and for the community here, we wanted to really kind of bring it full circle and give you guys the opportunity to experience what a wish looks like firsthand. And give everybody there an opportunity to see what the funds that they're raising are going to support. So we were able to we found a family that was a real good fit. The little girl's name was Kylie. She's 6, and her wish was to have a puppy. So we were able to get this real looked like a little stuffed animal. It was so small and fluffy, but we were able to bring it out there. Yeah, it was a cute dog. And she had no idea. She just thought she was going to be there to talk a little bit about her condition. She had been going through treatment. And her family knew that she was going to get the dog. That wasn't a surprise to them, but it was a surprise for her. And we showed up with the dog, and her face absolutely. I don't know if I'm assuming you saw her face.
Yeah, I was
too.
there.
Yeah, she absolutely lit up. It was awesome.
I got to take a couple pics with her and be there when she got it. What was really great. I love. I mean, of course, we always talk about, but I want to reiterate this. There's scientific backing. Right. Very clearly that it's a medicine. Being granted a wish as a sick child or a child that's fighting a life-threatening illness has a medication value to it. That's proven.
Yeah.
But I always talk about how it goes beyond the child and it goes to the family, because the family's been living in pain and misery for years and years, and the other children that are siblings think that the world revolves around the child that's been sick. The child that's been sick's been dealing with it. All their parents, it's just consumed their whole life. And what it does for that family is it gives them a breath of fresh air, and I think it has a medical value for the whole family. What was really, really cool was to see there was about 30 folks from Kylie's family there.
Yeah, she had a big
and they
crew
were,
with her.
I mean, it was like a barbecue, man, which is what the tournament is supposed to be. I always talk about how everybody hangs out. It's a big party, and we have a good time. There's great food and great drink and just social.
Yeah.
And that's what they were doing. And then that happened, and I got to talk to her mom, her uncle. You know, I got to talk to
She had her
tons of
grandparents
people
out
in the
there, I
family.
think,
They were
too.
so happy, so thrilled. And I have a 6-year-old daughter. My youngest daughter's 6, so nothing could be better than to teach my daughter without teaching, without saying.
No, you're right, Trent. I mean, I have a 6-year-old daughter as well. We talk about that quite a bit. And what was also sort of neat is it's a very emotional experience. I mean, I'm sure it is for the family, but we're in construction. We had a lot of subcontractors, and we couldn't do this cornhole tournament without our sponsors, that are our teammates and our partners in the industry. And so, in construction, we're tough guys, right? We're tough, strong dudes. Well, let me tell you something. There must have been a huge wind that blew a bunch of dust across that field, because there wasn't a dry eye out there. And I think everybody sort of took a moment to reflect on what exactly we were there to do. And it really was wonderful. I kind of saw it coming. I was behind her. Trent, you were kind of on one side, and I saw what Amy Brindley, the CEO of Make-A-Wish, what she was doing. Then all of a sudden I saw this dog start coming out. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah. And to watch that little girl's face light up the way it did is something I'll never forget.
What's really cool is I do a lot of talking, or the talking that's done, I do a lot of it at the cornhole tournament.
You do.
And it's really hard because we have 3 baseball fields of people, and they're drinking and having fun and socializing. So it's kind of hard when you're on the PA in the center to get everybody's attention, and nobody will hush.
Right.
I'm going to say, shut up. But then when this all took place, it was you could hear a pin drop.
That's right.
It was
really.
awesome.
So that was a blessing.
Yeah.
And I think the family felt it. I think Kylie felt it. It was beautiful, and the dog was great.
He was such a cute dog. Yeah. Muffin. She named the dog Muffin.
She named him Muffin.
Already had a name.
Yeah, that was cool too. And Amy kind of put her on the spot a little bit and said, "What's the dog's name?" And you never know what a 6-year-old's going to say.
Right.
And you're right. She had that name picked out a long time ago.
And the funny thing is, my kids talked about it all weekend.
I'll bet.
And they kept saying, my favorite part is the name. Oh, Muffins is so cute.
It's a perfect name, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looked like a muffin. It's a small. I mean, that thing's not going to get more than 10 pounds. I don't think. It's tiny.
Blueberry.
Okay. There you go.
But
Blueberry,
I was proud too. One of my middle daughter had one of her best friends from school had a birthday party this weekend, and Reagan, my wife, gave her the option of, said, "Hey, you got the cornhole tournament," and she said, "No, I'm going to the cornhole tournament. I wouldn't miss it for the world." So that's pretty cool too.
I had a story like that too. We had one of our newer sales guys, David Morris, came with his wife, and they had to leave to go to his son's baseball game. And he told me on the way home, his wife looked at him and said, "Next year during this tournament, we're going to tell the baseball team that he can't play. He's coming to the cornhole tournament."
Wow!
So I thought that was really cool as well.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
it does a lot of things. It really does.
Well, Chris, will you stick around? Let's talk more Make-A-Wish when we get back.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, you're listening to At Home with Roby.